We've got an E2R advisor alert. E2R advisor alert, over. All right. What we see all too often is new clients come on and they've entered into fixed term contracts with their employees, which means there's a start date and there's an end date. And they think that's a great idea because when you get to the end date, you don't have to worry about termination and severance. I've got something to say about that in a second. But on the issue of even terminating an employee prior to the end date in the fixed term contract, employers don't realize unless you have a termination provision, an early termination provision in the agreement that says you can terminate them prior to the end date in the contract, if you don't have that, you owe the employee for the entire balance of the term. So let's say it was a 2-year deal, and after 6 months, it's not working out for whatever reason, even economic reasons. You don't have an early termination provision in that fixed term agreement, you employer owe 18 months of compensation to that employee who was only with you for 6 months. An extraordinary result, but it's because you didn't insert an early termination provision. Now, the other piece of fixed term contract, employers will enter into, let's say, a fixed term contract of 1 year, and then they'll renew it over and over and over. And let's say you don't have an early termination provision in it, or the one you have is not good. Well, the way the courts approach the successive entering into of fixed term contracts is it's no longer a fixed term contract.
Right.
It becomes a contract of what's called indefinite hire. In other words, a normal employment agreement. So if you've renewed my 1-year deal 5 times, let's say I'm almost like a 6-year employee, I'm going to get reasonable notice, common law reasonable notice, as though I was a 6-year employee, not an employee in the last year or a 1-year contract in that 6th year. So it makes a big, big difference. So we've got a fixed term contract, free, E2R advisor, fixed term contract, over.